If you're planning a trip to Costa Rica, then you've already heard what a total nightmare renting a car is. You don't have to look far online to find tons of people complaining about scams, hidden fees, and all kinds of problems. But here's the thing, most people aren't getting scammed when it comes to rental cars in Costa Rica. They're just confused. It really doesn't have to be a nightmare if you actually know what you're doing. Emails and comments about rental cars in Costa Rica is the #1 question that we consistently get. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the 5 tricks that I share with people that make renting a car in Costa Rica a pretty seamless experience. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jason, and when Claire and I took our first trip to Costa Rica, we found that tons of videos on YouTube about Costa Rica are really fun and really useless in helping you plan your trip. It's just that all the videos focus on how much fun someone else is having in Costa Rica without really sharing much helpful practical details. So when we got back, we decided to take all of the research that we had done on our trip to Costa Rica, plus all of the footage that we had shot while we were on our trip, and combine that with our experience in Costa Rica to start creating the videos that we really wish that we had had on our first trip. So if you're planning a trip to Costa Rica, subscribe to Finding Mangoes to boost your Costa Rica research and help maximize your trip. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk about you. You're planning a trip to Costa Rica and you need to know the 5 tricks that make renting a car in Costa Rica pretty hassle-free, including why people often think that they're getting scammed even when they're not, and how to avoid that problem on your trip. The first thing is just choosing the right rental car company. Choosing the right company is probably the single biggest thing that you can do to ensure that you have a smooth experience with renting a car in Costa Rica. If we're gonna be honest, there are some shady rental car companies in Costa Rica, like anywhere else in the world, and there are some totally reliable ones. And I just wanna tell you, without trying to throw anybody under the bus here, what rental car companies in Costa Rica have kind of a shady reputation. Economy, Payless, Apex, Green Motion, USave, POAS, Adventure, and Budget. Now, obviously, we have not rented a car personally with every single one of these companies. I'm just saying, we've done the research for you up front, and these are the rental car companies that consistently get the most online hate mail. Complaints about these companies include unexplained or unexpected charges, poor vehicle condition, aggressive upsells, and questionable billing practices. The most reliable companies are the ones that you've probably already heard of: Adobe, Enterprise, Vamos, Sixth, and Alamo. All of these are solid in Costa Rica. You can go with one of these companies and know that this is a consistently reliable company. I'm not saying that you won't have any problems. Problems happen sometimes, but at least you know if there are problems, it's not because you're getting scammed. However, even with the reliable company, there's still several other things that you're gonna wanna do. Second, take photos of the car when you arrive. We typically will walk around the car, shoot a 360-degree video of the entire car, take pictures of the whole thing. This way, at the end of your trip when you return the car, if they point out that damage, you're gonna be able to show with definitive proof and evidence that that damage was already there when you picked up the car. And just recognize, this happens even with the reliable rental car companies. If this happens to you, it's probably not because they're trying to scam you. They don't have the same kinds of checklists and digital procedures that they have to follow. And so sometimes damage to a car will go unnoticed, and it doesn't get noticed until you're returning the car. We've actually had this happen to us. We almost got charged $1,800 for some damage that was done to the car. And I can show you, here's the video that we shot at the beginning of our trip. And it was because we were able to point this out right here and show that the damage had already been done before we rented the car, that we didn't end up having to pay. But the biggest problem that people actually have when renting a car in Costa Rica is this next one. Number 3, know your TPL. This is the #1 reason that people often think that they're getting scammed when actually they're not getting scammed. They just didn't do their research up front. So if you know what TPL is ahead of time and you're prepared for it, you're gonna feel a lot better about this whole process. So what is TPL? How should we be thinking about this? It's actually pretty simple. There's a lot of tourists driving around in Costa Rica, and so the government requires that if you're gonna rent a car, you have to have third-party liability. This insurance covers someone else that you might hit. Here's where it gets tricky. The rental car company is not the one charging you for this. The government is requiring you to get it, but they require the rental car company to serve you this insurance when you get your car. So the rental car company doesn't get the money for this, so they don't include it in their price when you book online ahead of time. But then you get there, they're required to serve you this insurance as part of the package, and if you didn't expect that ahead of time, it feels like you're getting scammed, when in actuality, it's perfectly normal. So here's a couple of things to know about third-party liability insurance, or TPL, in Costa Rica. Number one, this is required by Costa Rican law, and you can't decline it. It's just part of traveling in Costa Rica, and it's really not that big of a deal. Second, your insurance or your credit card perk insurance is not going to cover this. Third, it will cost you extra. Just plan for it. It's just part of traveling to Costa Rica. Finally, a TPL typically costs between $12 and $25 a day. It varies just based on what kind of car you're renting and what company you're renting with. You plan for it, then you're not going to feel unnecessarily like you're getting scammed when you walk into the country. There are, however, some legit scams to avoid when renting cars in Costa Rica. So I want to talk to you first about your mindset when renting a car, and then finally we'll cover the actual scams to avoid. So fourth, let's talk about your mindset. Picking up a rental car when you arrive for your trip is admittedly the least exciting part of your trip. It's paperwork, it's documentation, you might need to wait in line for a little bit. It is also the biggest temptation to be fearful. You've just flown into a foreign country, you're tired, there's maybe a little bit of a language barrier. ¿Cómo se dice no entiendo? Yo no sé. Don't let all of those things put you in a headspace of fearful suspicion. In reality, Costa Rica is a really chill place. It is the safest country in Latin America. The Costa Rican people are really sweet people, and in most cases, they're not out to get you. Just let yourself know ahead of time and remind yourself in the moment, everything's gonna be okay. We came here for fun. If you've gone with a reliable rental car company and you plan to take photos of your car before you get into it, and you understand TPL, and you know the scams to avoid, you're probably fine. So finally, here are the actual scams to watch out for when you're booking or renting a car in Costa Rica. First, super low rates online from a rental car company that you've never heard of before. Oftentimes there are rental car companies with super low rates that then when you're flying into the country, all of a sudden you find the rate is much higher than what you expected. The easiest solution for this is have your booking details and the rate that you booked at handy in advance so that you're ready when you walk in the door and you know what you should be expecting to pay. Second scam to avoid, and this isn't as much of a scam as just kind of a pressure tactic, is upsell on a GPS or other things like that. If you have a smartphone and a data plan in Costa Rica, you really don't need a GPS. So just be aware of upsells for things that you may not need. The other biggest and most common scam is rental car companies claiming that you did damage to the car when in fact the damage was already there. Sometimes this is just an honest mistake on their part, but there are documented cases, especially with the less reliable rental car companies, where it wasn't an honest mistake. So again, the solution to this is just make sure that you take photos and video of the car before you ever get into it and turn the key for the first time. And the solution for all three of these in a pretty significant way really is just to book with a reliable rental car company. Now, if you're planning on getting a rental car in Costa Rica, you need to make sure you get the right car. Don't get the wrong car. We cover this as well as 4 other mistakes that tourists in Costa Rica often make in our video, 5 mistakes tourists make in Costa Rica. But many of you have probably already seen that video. It's usually the one that introduces people to our channel. So if that's the case, you'll want to jump into our video series, Planning Your First Trip to Costa Rica, Season 1, Episode 1. Let us know if you have any other questions about this or anything else. Have a great trip.